கேக்குதாமா? ஓகே. Very good morning. I am Vigneshwaran. Previous year UPSC question paper discussion program successful 2021-2020 முடிச்சோம். இப்போ 2019 ஓட question paper எடுக்க போறோம். 2019 ஓட question paperல GS 1 பார்க்க போறோம். GS 1 ஓட question paperல நம்ம என்னென்ன சப்ஜெக்ட்ஸ் இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறது நமக்கு தெரியணும். GS 1 ஃபர்ஸ்ட் வந்து ஆர்டர் மிக்சர் இருக்கும். மாடர்ன் இந்தியா, வேர்ல்ட் ஹிஸ்டரி, போஸ்ட் இண்டிபெண்டன்ஸ் கன்சாலிடேஷன், இந்தியன் சொசைட்டி, ஜியோகிராஃபி. இதுதான் இருக்கக்கூடிய நம்மளோட பார்ட். இதுல இருக்கக்கூடிய கொஸ்டின்ஸும் ஒன்னொன்னே பார்ப்போம் என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு சொல்லி. ஃபர்ஸ்ட் என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்க அப்படிங்கறத பாருங்க. ஹைலைட் சென்ட்ரல் ஏஷியன் அண்ட் கிரீக்கோ பாக்டீரியன் எலிமெண்ட்ஸ் இன் காந்தாரா ஆர்ட். முதல்ல இந்த கொஸ்டின் கேட்ட உடனே நமக்கு தெரியணும் இது வந்து ஆர்ட் அண்ட் கல்ச்சர் கொஸ்டின். நமக்கு தெரியும், இதுக்கு முன்னாடி சொல்றேன் வழக்கம் போல இதுல 250 மார்க்ஸ், 10 மார்க்ஸ், 10-15 மார்க்ஸ் கேட்பாங்க. சம்டைம்ஸ் வந்து 12.5 மார்க்ஸ் கேட்கறதுக்கான வாய்ப்புகளும் இருக்கு. அது பல பேட்டர்ன். இப்ப வந்து கேட்கறது வந்து 10 மார்க்ஸ், 10-15 மார்க்ஸ் தான் கேட்கறாங்க. இதுல நம்ம பார்க்க போறது வந்து காந்தாரா ஆர்ட். காந்தாரா அப்படிங்கிறது வந்து புத்திஸ்ட் ஆர்ட்ல 3 டைப் ஆஃப் ஆர்ட் இருக்கு. காந்தாரா, மதுரா, அமராவதி ஆர்ட் 3 இருக்கு. காந்தாரா, மதுரா, அமராவதின்னு 3 டைப் ஆஃப் ஆர்ட் இருக்கு. அதுல காந்தாரா ஆர்ட்ல இருக்கக்கூடிய எலிமெண்ட்ஸ் என்னன்னு கேட்பாங்க. அவங்களே என்னென்ன சொல்லியிருக்காங்கன்னா 2 ஸ்பெசிபிக் எலிமெண்ட்ஸை கொடுத்து, ஒரு டைப்பை கொடுத்து, ஒன்னு சென்ட்ரல் ஏஷியன் எலிமெண்ட்ஸ், கிரீக்கோ பாக்டீரியன் எலிமெண்ட்ஸ் அப்படின்னு சொல்லி கேட்பாங்க. காந்தாரா அப்படிங்கிறது இட் இஸ் அ காம்பினேஷன் ஆஃப் 2 டிஃபரெண்ட் ஆர்ட். இந்தியன் ஆர்ட் பிளஸ் கிரீக் ஆர்ட் ரெண்டும் சேர்ந்ததுதான் காந்தாரா ஆர்ட்னு பேரு. அதுல கிரீக்கோ பாக்டீரியன்ஸ், சென்ட்ரல் ஏஷியன்ஸ் இவங்களோட டைம் பீரியட் என்ன அப்படின்னு கேட்டீங்கன்னா நமக்கு பிசியில 5th century, 6th century, 7th century இருக்கலாம் அப்படின்னு சொல்லப்படுது. ஏன்னா இந்தியாவில புத்திசம் டெவலப் ஆனதுக்கு அப்புறம் உருவான புத்திஸ்ட் ஆர்கிடெக்சர் தான் இதெல்லாம். இதுல வந்து ஷாக்கா, சைக்கியன்ஸ், குஷானாஸ் அந்த மாதிரி நிறைய வருவாங்க. இவங்களுக்கெல்லாம் கலெக்டிவ் நேம் தான் சென்ட்ரல் ஏஷியன்ஸ் அண்ட் கிரீக்கோ பாக்டீரியன்ஸ். ஸோ இந்த மாதிரி கேள்விக்கு என்ன ஆன்சர் பண்ணலாம் அப்படிங்கிறத பார்ப்போம். இதுல ஃபர்ஸ்ட் பாருங்க, ஒரு இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் எழுதணும். இன்ட்ரோடக்ஷன் என்ன எழுதலாம்? Gandhara art is a style of Buddhist visual art that developed between the 1st century BC and the 7th century CE in what is now northwestern Pakistan and eastern Afghanistan. The region came under the political influence of the variety of kingdoms, which resulted in the emergence of mixed school of art. The sculptural tradition of the Gandhara had the confluence of the Bactria, Parthians and the local Gandhara traditions. However, the real pattern of the school of art was the Scythians and the Kushanas, but is particularly Kanishka. Central Asian நிறைய இருக்காங்க. ரொம்ப முக்கியமானவங்க Scythians and the Kushanas. Kushanaல important king வந்து Kanishka. Features of direct question போயிடலாம். Features of the Gandhara art borrowed from the Greco-Bactrian. Gandhara school drew upon the anthropomorphic traditions of the Roman religion and represented the Buddha with a youthful Apollo-like face, dressed in garments resembling those seen on Roman imperial status. Its significance lies in the fact that until the then Buddha was not represented in a human-like figure. Maybe hair in a top knot, sometimes moustache on the face, a dot on the third eye, between the eyebrows, elongated hairlocks, garment with thick pleats, usually covering both of the shoulders, and the muscular formation of the body are the resembling features. Other motifs and techniques that Gandhara school incorporated from the classical Roman art include vine scrolls, swoops wearing garlands, tritons and centurions. The images having the physiognomic pictures depicting the symbolic expressions such as calmness, sharp outlines, smooth surface, expressive images, etc. The entire point of attraction. Gandhara art not only assimilated the features of the Hellenistic art but also borrowed many West Asiatic and Central Asiatic features such as disc-shaped attribute behind the head of the Buddha was associated with the solar deities of the ancient Persian and the Greek art. Figures with social, conical and pointed caps on their heads resemble the Scythian caps of the similar design. The regular depiction of the fire worship in the Gandhara art, a trait which was probably derived from the Iranian sources. The foreign elements imbibed in the Gandhara art not only placed it on a high pedestal of the artistic achievements, but also made possible the naturalistic depiction of the human form for the first time in the Indian art history. இதுதான் சொல்லி முடிச்சிடலாம். இதுல என்னென்ன இருக்கு அப்படிங்கிறத பாருங்க. சென்ட்ரலேஷன், கிரீக்கோ பாக்டீரியன் எலமெண்ட், தலையில முடிச்சோட இருப்பாங்க, டாப் நாட் இருக்கும். ஸோ இது கிரீக்கோ பாக்டீரியன் ஆர்ட் எலமெண்ட்ஸ். நெக்ஸ்ட் கொஸ்டின் என்ன கேட்டிருக்காங்க, மாடர்ன் இந்தியா எல்லாமே கேட்டிருக்காங்க. The 1857 uprising was the culmination of the recurrent big and small local rebellion that had occurred in the preceding 100 years of the British rule. Elucidate. திரும்பி படிக்கிறேன். The 1857 uprising was the culmination of the recurrent big and small local rebellion that had occurred in the preceding 100 years of the British rule. Elucidate. Indian rebellion was not an one movement. It was a many. It was many. CA/E அப்படின்னு ஒருத்தர் சொல்லியிருக்காரு. 1857 ரிவோல்ட் பத்தி நமக்கு தெரியும். 1857 ரிவோல்ட் வந்து ஒரே மூமெண்ட் கிடையாது, இதுக்கு முன்னாடி பல மூமெண்ட் இருந்திருக்கு. அந்த மூமெண்டோட கல்மினேஷன் தான் இது அப்படின்னு சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. இதை யார் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு சொன்னா CA Pali brings to notice that Eric Stokes has written in his book The Peasant Armed the Indian Revolt of 1857. During the first century of the British rule, there was a series of uprisings which Kathleen Gow has called restorative rebellion, as they were started by the disaffected local rulers, Mughal officials and dispossessed zamindars. The century before 1857 witnessed more than 40 major rebellions, apart from the hundreds of the minor ones. However, these were local in character and effects isolated from each other because each rebellion had a different motive. Peasant uprising, the Fakir and the Sannyasi rebellion of Bengal and Bihar, 1770 to 1820. There was a widely recurrent confrontation with almost 50,000 participants involved at the height of the insurgency. Revolt of Raja Chal, Jait Singh Awad, 1778 to 1781. Primary goal was to restore the existing agrarian relation and it kept recurring till 1830. Palika rebellion, Andhra Pradesh, 1799 to 1805. Palika's feudal lords appointed as the military chief were joined by peasants against the company's tactics, and the rebellion reached a big scale before it was depressed. Paika rebellion, Odisha, 1817, an armed rebellion under the leadership of Bakshi Jahabandhu against the company's rule. Fairasi movement, Eastern Bengal, 1838 to 1848. First ever non-tax campaign led by the Shariatullah Khan and the Daudu Mian. It is a local in nature and kept occurring until 1870s. Tribal uprising, bill uprising, Kandes, present day Maharashtra and Gujarat in 1831. Bills rebelled against the British occupation of the Kandes but were crushed in 1819. But the situation remained unsettled till 1831. Coal uprising, Chotanagpur and Jingum region, Bill, Bihar, Odisha, 1831-32. Plunder and arson were the chief modes with the negligible killing, but had a major impact in the region. Sandal uprising, Eastern India, 1885 to 1855-56. The riots, effective tribal movement which is spread rapidly covering area of the Bihar, Odisha and Bengal against the British infiltrating policies. Conclusion, the century-long economic exploitation, political subjugation, discriminatory policies, religious interferences and the suppressions of the uprising finally culminated in the revolt of 1857, giving a platform to the discontented the leaders of the early rebellion to raise voices against the company. இதான் அதில் சொல்லியிருக்காங்க. So next third question பார்ப்போம். Examine the linkage between the 19th century's Indian Renaissance and the emergence of the national identity. 19th century witnessed the significant changes in the Indian polity and society compared to the expansion and consolidated of the British imperialism in India, which made Indians raise their interest were sacrificed in order to promote the interest of the British authority. The impact of the modern Western culture and consciousness of the defeat by the foreign power gave birth to new awakening. The modern education system familiarized with the educated classes with the idea of equality, liberty, and nationalism. They were impressed by the modern science and the doctrines of the reason and humanism. Thoughtful Indians who were product of the modern education began to look for the strength and weakness of their society and aimed at giving back to the nation its lost identity. The new cultural project, which partly manifested itself through the social and religious reforms, was encoded in the phase of Indian Renaissance. It marked the period of the transition in values, transformation in social sensibilities, rebirth in the cultural creativity. A defining feature of the movement was an inquiry into the past and an assessment to the traditions to overcome contemporary problems. Ram Manohar Roy's used Hindu scriptures in this debate with his opponents on sati, or Ishwara Chandra Vidyasagar's widow remarriage campaign, or Narayana Guru's advocacy of the universalism, sought to eliminate social obscurantism, religious superstition, and the irrational rituals. The common feature that they all shared was urge to transform the existing social and cultural conditions, ranging from irrational religious practices and rituals to the oppressive state of the human life. Renaissance purified and rediscovered an Indian civilization that was conformed with the European ideals of the rationalism, empiricism, monotheism, and individualism. It was meant to show that Indian civilization was by no means inferior to that of the West. Rather, in one sense, in its spiritual accomplishment, it was even superior to it. Evidence of the search for a superior national culture will be found in the development of the patriotic national literature, in the evolution of the new art forms, in search of the purer forms of the classical music, and in the construction of the new ideals of the womanhood. The literary movement led by the Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, Rabindranath Tagore, Iqbal, and Subramanya Bharati provided the leadership with the imagination and fervor. The movement thus not only talked of beauty and nationalism, but also revealed to its followers India in terms of its spirit, its philosophy, its arts, its poetry, its music, and its myriad way of life. The sense of the pride in the spiritual essence of the Indian civilization, as opposed to the material culture of the West, motivated Indians to confront the social colonial state in the newly emerging public space. Thus, this, in other words, provided the ideological foundation of the modern Indian nationalism that developed in the state late 19th century. ஸோ இதுதான் தேர்ட் கொஸ்டினுக்கான ஆன்சர். இது வந்து இந்தியன் ரெனேசன்ஸ் அப்படிங்கிற ஒரு ஃப்ரேஸை கொடுத்து அந்த ஃப்ரேஸை பற்றியான எக்ஸ்பிளனேஷன் கேட்டிருக்காங்க. ஸோ இதோட எமர்ஜென்சி நேஷனல் ஐடென்டிட்டி எப்படி உருவானுச்சு அப்படின்னு சொல்லி நம்ம இதில் வேணும். அடுத்து, அசஸ் த இம்பாக்ட் ஆஃப் த குளோபல் வார்மிங் ஆன் த கோரல் ரீஃப் சிஸ்டம் வித் எக்ஸாம்பிள்ஸ். Coral reef system harbor the highest biodiversity of any ecosystem globally and directly support over 500 million people worldwide. However, over the last 3 years, coral reef ecosystem around the world have suffered from mass coral bleaching events. There are now among the most threatened ecosystem of Earth, largely due to the unprecedented global warming and climate changes combined with the growing local pressures. Impact of global warming on the coral life system. There are many impacts in the coral life system. As temperature rises, mass coral bleaching events and infectious diseases outbreaks are becoming the more frequent. The bleaching of the Great Barrier Reef 2016-17 for instance, killed around 50% of the corals. Bleached corals are likely to experience reduced growth rates, decreased reproductive capacity, increased susceptibility to diseases, and elevated mortality rates. Ocean acidification or increased carbon dioxide levels has reduced the calcification rates in the reef building and re, uh, reassociated organisms, causing their skeletons to become the weaker and growth is impaired. Sea level rise may lead to increase in the sedimentation for sea reef located near the land-based resources of sediment. Sedimentation runoff can lead to the smoothing of the coral. Changes in the storm pattern due to the climate change may lead to stronger and more frequent storms that can cause the destruction of the coral reefs. Changes in coral ecosystem also affect the species that depend on them, such as fish, invertebrates, and invertebrates that rely on the live coral of wood, shelter, and recruitment habitat. Changes in precipitation result in the increased runoff freshwater, sediment, and long-based pollutants contribute to algal blooms and cause murky water conditions that reduce the flight. Altered, altered ocean currents lead to changes in the connectivity and the temperature regimes that contribute to the lack of food for corals and hampers dispersal of the coral larvae. It is also expected that there will be a gradual decrease in the quantity of the marine plants such as phytoplanktons in warmer water, effectively reducing the amount of nutrients available to the animals further along the food chain. In addition, that the collapse of the coral reef system due to the global warming can have direct impact on tourism, aquaculture, and pharmaceutical industries, so as to reduce the overall resilience of the coastal communities. Way forward, limiting global average temperature to well below 2 degrees Celsius above pre-industrial levels, addressing the local population, and restrictive fishing practices provided chance for survival of the coral life system globally. Also, transformation of the mainstream economic system towards the circular economic practices can help in mitigating the rising global temperature. According to the UNESCO, the coral reefs in all 29 reef containing World Heritage Sites would cease to exist by the end of this century if global warming is not reduced. Reinforcing commitments to the Paris Agreement may be mirrored in all other global agreements such as Sustainable Development Goals 13, for instance, call for urgent action to combat the climate change and its impacts. Next question number 5. Discuss the causes of depletion of the mangroves and explain their importance in maintaining the coastal ecology. Mangroves are the salt-tolerant vegetation that grows in intertidal regions of the rivers and estuaries. They are referred as tidal forest and belong to the category of the tropical wetland rainforest ecosystem. Mangrove forests occupy around 2 lakh square kilometers across the globe in tropical regions of the 30 countries. India has a tidal mangrove over a 4,482 square kilometers. However, more than 35% of the world mangroves are already depleted. Causes of the depletion: clearing. Large tracts of the mangrove forest have cleared to make room for the agricultural land and human settlement, industrial area, swamp agriculture, aquaculture, etc. As a result, mangroves get depleted to the tune of 2 to 8% annually. Over harvesting. They also overexploited for firewood, construction wood, and pulp production, charcoal production, and animal fodder. Damming of the rivers. Dams built over the river courses reduces the amount of the water and sediments reaching mangrove forest, altering their salinity level. Destruction of the coral reef. Coral reefs provide the first barrier against the current and strong waves. When they are destroyed, even stronger than normal waves reaching the coast can wash away the fine sediment in which the mangroves grow.
Pollution. Mangroves also face severe threats due to the fertilizer, pesticides, discharge of the domestic sewage and industrial effluents carried down by the river system. Climate change. Usually low rainfall and very hazy surface and air temperature cause the severe threats to the survival of the mangrove forest. Importance of the mangroves in maintaining the coastal ecology. Mangroves are among the most productive terrestrial ecosystem and are natural renewable resource. For instance, such Sundarbans in the Gangetic Delta supports around 30 plant species of the mangroves. Mangroves provide ecological niches for a wide variety of the organisms. They serve as breeding, feeding, nursery grounds for fisheries and provide timber and wood for fuel. Mangrove forest acts as water filters and purifiers as well. When water from rivers and floodplains flow into the ocean, mangroves filter a lot of sediments, hence protecting the coastal ecology, including the coral reef. Mangroves act as a shock absorbers. They reduce the high tides and the waves and protect the shoreline from the erosion and also minimize the disasters due to the cyclones and the tsunami. Given their importance, strict enforcement of the coastal regulation measures, scientific management practices and participation of the local community in conservation and management of the and are essential for the conservation and the sustainable management of the precious mangrove forest. Question number 6. Can the strategy of the national resource-based manufacturing help in promoting the employment in India? National manufacturing policy aims to increase the share of manufacturing in the country's GDP to 24% by 2022. However, it has been observed that the rate of development in certain areas is very fast due to some locational advantages with a high degree of industrialization, while other areas lag behind. In this regard, regional manufacturing becomes very important. Employment generation due to the regional resource-based manufacturing. Suitably, organized industries can utilize raw materials in the area and thereby give a fill to greater production and processing. This would help in overall regional development. Manufacturing creates employment in the industry at various levels of the skills. Normally, a good proportion of the employment is in unskilled and semi-skilled labor field, who can expect higher wages than the informal sector earnings. The industry also creates opportunities for entrepreneurship and employment in the ancillary industries and the services in the secondary and the tertiary sectors. There would be greater and more varied demand for consumer goods. This creates its own cycle of the possible growth in local production, distribution, and support in the secondary and tertiary sectors. It would also reduce the income gap between rural and urban areas and thereby reducing the distress migration. Challenges to regional resource-based manufacturing. While many states like Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh have abundant mineral resources, it is a lack of adequate infrastructure, mainly roads and power, that has been a major roadblock. Lack of the skill amongst the people in these manufacturing industries. MSME sector, which will have lion's share in much strategy, are already facing the challenges related to the marketing, credit growth, and the non-availability of the suitable technology for manufacturing, etc. Intellectual property protection and the enforcement are expensive, high risk in India. In this regard, the state and union government have come up with the various strategies for harnessing the regional manufacturing potential. China, Odisha has also announced the Odisha Industrial Development Plan, Vision 2025, that will focus the attention on 5 sectors that aim to attract the investments of the 2.5 lakh crore and generate the direct and indirect employment opportunities for 30 lakh people. UP government one district, one production scheme seeks to promote traditional industries synonymous with their respective district to spur the national local economy and create jobs. Northeast Industrial Development Scheme encourages micro, small and medium enterprises to set up in the northeast region. Forest industry, tribal product are being increased in different states because of its ability to solve the problem of unemployment and poverty. Different states and the regions of the harbor GI tagged products that could be manufactured locally or marketed globally. The overall development of the country can happen only by securing a balanced or coordinated development of the decentralized manufacturing economy in each region. This is the factors for localization of the agro-based food processing industries in Northwest India. Question number 7. Agro-based food processing industries in Northwest India. Factors for localization. Agro-based food processing industry aptly recognized the sunrise industry is described as one that adds the value to agricultural raw materials. The value addition converts the raw agricultural products into the remarkable, easy to use, edible products like cornflakes, chips, ready to serve drinks, etc. The Indian food processing industry accounts for 32% of the India, 32% of the country's total food market. It is one of the largest industries in India, and it is ranked fifth in terms of the production, consumption, export, and expected growth. However, the northwestern India focuses a better developed agro-based food processing industry. The factors for this localization are as follows. First one is geography. Number 2 is raw material. Number 3 is infrastructure. Number 4 is agro marketing. 5 socio-economic issues. 6 policy support. 7 capacity building and R&D. We will see one by one. These are the factors of localization. First factor is geography. The region is blessed with the diverse agroclimatic zones, fertile soil and undulating plain. These support a multitude of crops, vegetables and fruits around the year, which provide ample raw material. Raw material availability of the diverse raw materials, with cereals, fruits, vegetables, livestock, provide an attractive basis for food processing industry in the region. For instance, Punjab accounts for 17% of the rice and 11% of the wheat production in India. The region also has the distinction of having the largest population of the livestock and largest producer of the milk in India. Infrastructure, well-connected transportation network, subsidized electricity, irrigation facilities such as Indira Gandhi Canal in Rajasthan, Pakranangal Canal in Uttarakhand, and ample warehousing and storage facilities contribute to the flourishing agro-based industries in this region. Agro marketing. This region has well-developed agri-export zones, market yard, organized APMC and mandis, which have provided a conducive environment for the establishment of the agro-based industries. Socio-economic values. The population of the region has good literacy rate, including the financial literacy, and enjoys an effective banking network. This helps channel easy availability of the credit and capital investment. Policy support. The Punjab government operates an agricultural mega project policy to facilitate investment in the food processing sector. Additionally, large land holding, single window clearance, permission to set up private hub e-market, amendments to the APMC Act have enabled the agro-based industries in the region to flourish. Capacity building and R&D, research and development. Capacity building of the manpower in food processing sector in India is spearheaded by the National Institute of the Food Technology, Entrepreneurship and Management, which is located in the Sonapet, Haryana. Likewise, a prominent institution for research and development to improve the agricultural productivity and business opportunity is in the Indian Institute of the Maize Research and located in Ludhiana, Punjab. The initiative taken to the union level, like permitting 100% FTA through the automatic route of the food processing sector and scheme for mega food parks under the Ministry of Food Processing Industries are conducive steps. However, the challenges for the industry remain such as fluctuations in the availability of the raw material due to climate change, inadequate implementation of the APMC Act, multiplicity of the industries and laws for regulate laws to regulate food value chain, etc. What makes the Indian society unique in sustaining its culture? Discuss. What is the Indian society unique in sustaining its culture? This is the society-based question. The notion of the accommodation and assimilation has been the key feature of the Indian society. Since ancient times, India has accommodated different elements of the society without letting them lose their separate identities. Jawaharlal Nehru written the discovery of Indian society and culture. It is like some ancient palimpsest of which layer upon layer of thought and a revere had been inscribed, and yet two succeeding layers and completely hidden or erased what had been written previously. In course of the time, India has evolved its own culture, which is externally receptive and heterogeneous. The essence of the Indian society lies in harboring diverse and distinct identities, ethnicities, languages, religions, and culinary preferences. History stands witness to the fact that the societies have struggled to hold the differences were sheltered in such an attempt. However, Indian society succeeded on these unique because of the various peculiarities. First one is cosmic vision, second one is sense of harmony, third one is tolerance, fourth one is continuity and stability, fifth adaptability, sixth caste system and hierarchy, seventh unity and diversity. A cosmic vision. Here, the framework of the Indian culture places human beings in the center of the universe as a divine creation which celebrates the individuality and the differences of being in the society. Sense of harmony. Indian philosophy and culture tries to achieve an innate harmony and order in the society. Tolerance. In India, tolerance and liberalism is found for all religions, caste, communities, etc. Indian society accepted and respected Shaka, Tuna, Taitians, Christian Jews, and Zoroastrians. Rulers like Asoka and Akbar were patronized various religions and ensured there is a peaceful coexistence of all religions. Continuity and stability. The light of ancient Indian culture, life is yet flowing. Many invasions occurred, many rulers changed, many laws were passed out. Even today, the traditions of traditional institutions, religion, epics, literature, philosophy, traditions are alive. Adaptability. Adaptability is the process of changing according to time, place, and period. The Indian society has shown fluidity and has adjusted itself to the changing times. Caste system and hierarchy. Indian society has evolved systems of the social stratification, which in the past helped in accommodating the outsiders, but concomitantly, it has also been the reason for discrimination and prejudice. Unity in diversity. Despite inherent differences, Indian society celebrates unity in diversity, which reflects in modern India founding principles and constitutional ideals. In recent times, Indian society has been searched on multiple divisive issues like communalism, casteism, economic disparity, and ethnic violence, which pose a serious challenge to the time-tested ethos of our society. Despite this, India remains a diverse country, a bewildering mosaic of the communities of all kinds. Our peculiar social genius is here. Passion, a form of the coexistence where diversity can flourish, find its place. Principles of the Sarvadharma Sambhava, equal respect for all religion. Sarvadharma Sambhava, equal religions for all, is rooted in its tradition and culture. Next question. Empowering women is the key to control the population growth. Discuss. India is set to become the most population nation in 2017, surpassing China. According to an estimation by the United Nations Department of the Economic and Social Affairs, Indian population ballooned from 5.2 million to in 1972, 1.366.4 million, 13,366.4 million in 2017. There are multiple causes of the population growth in India, such as child marriage and the multi-marriage system, religious superstition, literacy and unawareness, poverty, etc. However, they are in one way or the other linked to poor coordination of the women in the nation. Thus, empowering the women can play a crucial role in controlling the population growth. Women are the women are the women are at times financially weak to pay for needed family planning and healthy services. Access to and control over productive resources will result in increased voice, agency, and meaningful participation of the decision making at all levels, from family planning to the time consuming. The failure of the family planning is directly related to the large scale illiteracy that also contribute to the early age of the marriage, low status of the women, high child mortality rate, etc. There are least aware of the various ways to control population, use of the contraceptives and the birth control measures. Uneducated families cannot grasp the issues and the problems caused by the increasing population rate. Education has a transformative impact on girls. Educated girls tend to work more, earn more, expand their horizons, marry and start having children later with the fewer children. Fertility rates are high because of the misinformation about the side effects of the contraceptives, lack of the knowledge about the benefits of the small families, and religious and moral opportunities to contraception. Any woman with multiple children spends most of her life as the mother and wife. She cannot play any meaningful role in her community and society until she was able to limit her family to proper size. Family planning will not only improve the family welfare but also contribute to achieving the social prosperity and the personal happiness. It is also crucial to sensitize men and boys at a young age so they become an integral part of in the bringing about the transformation of the women empowerment in the Indian society. When men start respecting women and accepting them as equals, a lot of gender-based inequalities will reduce considerably. The unbridled growth of the population is a problem that our country needs to overcome. The government, NGO, and the people of the society have to work together to solve the problem of overpopulation in our country. India, however, needs to put more efforts on empowering its women who can help the country curb the growth of its population. As also mentioned by Nehru, to awaken the people, first the women need to be awakened. Because once a woman has awakened, then the whole nation or whole family get awakened with her. This is the question, society question. Next, we move to the 10th question. What are the challenges to our cultural practices in the name of secularism? What are the challenges to our cultural practices in the name of secularism? India, since independence, has been following a peculiar nation of the secularism, where all religions are treated equally and supported by the state. However, this concept at present is undergoing a paradigm change, wherein constitutional morality is being considered a significant component of the secularism by the judiciary. Another characteristics of this change is the growth of the misguided perception about the secularism. The ultimate outcome of these changes is the rise of various challenges to our diverse cultural practices. Thus, we have the logical classification of these challenges under the two dimensions. Challenges posed by the misguided perceptions. Religiousness is an anti-secular and the pro-fundamentalist. This perception discourages the various religious practices like rituals, clothing, thoughts, etc. People who wear the saffron dress, who keep the beard and pot skull cap, and all considered fundamentalist. Religiousness in the anti-secular and pro-fundamentalist. Secularism is equated to the atheism or apostasy. Those who do not believe in good or abandon their religious belief are marked as secular. This thought is leading to a low degradation of the cultural practices. Restrictions to food choices. Some states, through following the majoritarian religious sentiments, restrict the sale of beef. Papism. Sometimes the judiciary also takes the narrow glimpses of the secularism and identify religious celebrations and practices. Example: Rajasthan High Court ban on Santara and the Supreme Court's ban on the sale of crackers on Deepavali. Challenges due to the rise of constitutional morality. Following are the grounds of the objections to several cultural practices considered by the judiciary. Right to equality, the practice of triple talaq and the ban on entry of the women in the Sabrimala temple were all declared unlawful by the Supreme Court. Those were done on account of the gender inequality and gender exploitation inherent to the practices. Animal rights, some court banned the traditional practices of the Jallikattu because of the cruelty to the animals involved. Objection to the harmful cultural practices, the illegality of the female genital mutilation practice in the Udi Bora community was brought in limelight in 2018. The Center and the Supreme Court are having the opinion to ban practices in India. Thus, it obvious that while some of the challenges are the outcomes of the misleading notion of the secularism, others are due to exploitative and discriminatory nature of the cultural practices only. The solution lies in getting all the stakeholders like religious leaders, judges, rights activists, civil society groups, NGOs and government representatives together for a common platform to discuss the challenges and to bring anonymity for preserving the cultural practices of our country. So this is the question. Next to move to the 11th question. Many voices had strengthened and enriched with the nationalist movement during the Gandhian phase. Elaborate. Gandhian phase in Indian freedom is undoubtedly remarkable because of the perspective the Gandhiji provided to the masses and the way he guided the freedom fighters with the means of truth and non-violence. But there were numerous other simultaneous factors which further strengthened the Gandhi's efforts and contributed to the nationalist movement. Voices that strengthened and engaged with the national movement. The first one is Khilafat movement in 1919 to 1922 was launched by the Indian Muslims to pressurize the British government to preserve the authority of the Ottoman Sultan as Khalifa of Islam. Gandhi and the Congress leaders viewed it as an opportunity for cementing Hindu-Muslim unity and bringing the Muslims in the national movement. Although the event is said to have brought the issue of the religion in the freedom struggle, the ideological difference between the Swarajists and the no changes within the Congress related to the serious changes on the constitution. No changes continued their constructive program of the spinning temperance into Muslim unity, removal of untouchability, etc. Whereas Swarajists won the election of the Central Legislative Assembly in November 1923, filling the political void that while the national movement was regaining its strength. Marxism and other socialist ideologies spread rapidly in 1927 under Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose leadership. The left wing did not confine its concern to freedom struggle only, but raised the question of the intellectual oppression by the capitalist and the landlords. It strengthened the voice of the marginalized and poor of the country and connected them to the movements. Revolutionary like R.P. Bismil, Ram Prasad Bismil, Chandrasekhar Azad, Bhagat Singh, among others, took the responsibilities of the informing people about the necessary revolution to uproot the British Empire. The terrorist movement in Bengal, led by Surya Sen, is notable because of the role of revolutionary women who participated. Students and peasants parties got involved and propagated Marxist and communist ideals while remaining an integral part of the national movement and the Congress. In 1928, Parduri Satyagraha occurred under the leadership of Sardar Vallabhbhai Patel, bringing towards the farmers' concerns. There was a rapid growth of the trade unionism under the leadership of All India Trade Union Congress. Many strikes took place during the 1928. Gorakhpur, Jamshedpur and Bombay textile mill strike in the most important. The traders and workers contributed to the struggle for independence. Women from all over the India were not left alone. They carry forward and equally contributed to the national movement, Kasturiba Gandhi, Vijayalakshmi Pandit, Aruna Asaf Ali, Pikaji Kama are some of the most prominent women who assumed the leadership of different fronts. Even the business class participated by giving financial assistance and rejecting the imported goods. Every class, section, age group, political ideology emerged, came forward and contributed to the national movement, even though it weakened the movement to some extent by the fragmentation of the internal ideological differences. It mainly made the movement strong by diversifying it and adding alternative perspectives to it. This multi-dimensional nature of the movement is one of the reasons for the success in 1947, when firmly all unheard voices still then were heard. Question number 12. Assess the role of British imperial power in complicating the process of transfer of power during 1940s. Britain never wanted to leave India but promised to the Indian National Congress of Independence in return of Indian resources and army during World War II. Post-war financial and political expansion, change in political power center, Labour Party, whose ideology favored the Congress Party, increasing the global pressure and its inability to crush Indian leaders will and effort finally led to the Indian independence. However, the Britain did succeed in making the process of transfer power so complicated and hard that India still suffers from them. India still suffers from the British rule. For example, Sir Stifford Groups was responsible for drafting the candidate mission plan, which proposed a complicated system for India, 3 tiers, provinces and provincial groupings under the center. The center power was confined to the foreign affairs, defense and currency and communication only. The 3 major groups of provinces, Group A to include the Hindu majority provinces, Group B containing Muslim majority provinces, including the Western Pakistan. The Group C included the Muslim majority Bengal, Eastern Pakistan. Even both the Nehru and Jinnah eventually refused to accept it. Lord Wavell authorized a cabinet with Jawaharlal Nehru as the interim prime minister, which engaged Jinnah, who in turn restored to direct action against speaking riots and massacres. Partition on July 1947. The British Parliament passed the Indian Independence Act, which provided for the demarcation of the Indian and Pakistan. By midnight of August 14 and 15, 1947, in this movement, two-nation theory was an important factor here and fueled the communalism. The task of demarcating the boundaries was given to the British lawyer, Sir Cyril Redcliffe, who had never visited the country before and was clueless about the social and political consequences of his decision. 2 boundary commissions were set up for it. During the partition, there was a large-scale communal violence and forced migration of the people, probably the biggest history. Automatically, autonomy to the Princess States. The British paramountcy on the Princess States and all the existing treaties of the Britain with the Princess States before the independence ended in 1947. As Princess States were not a part of the British India, they became the independent and they had the option to either merge with India or with Pakistan or stay independent. Even after the efforts Lord Mountbatten, Jawaharlal Nehru, Patel, few Princess states like Kashmir, Junagadh and Hyderabad posed some serious challenges in the already troubled times. It was hard to go of main resource supplier and the market consumer, but when the odds were out in favor of the Britain, it gave the independence to India, but made sure to create some contentious issues while leaving India. A lot of current day problems like issue of the enclaves in Bangladesh, later resolved through the Constitution 100th Amendment Act 2014. The migration issue, the Kashmir issue between the India and Pakistan have their roots in the complication created by the British imperial power during the 1940s. So, இதோட நம்ம முடிச்சுக்கலாம். இது இவ்வளவு கொஸ்டின் நாளைக்கு பார்க்கலாம். இன்னைக்கு நேஷனல் டீச்சர்ஸ் டே. ஸோ விஷ் யூ ஹாப்பி டீச்சர்ஸ் டே டு ஆல் டீச்சர்ஸ். உங்களோட டீச்சர்ஸ் விஷ் பண்ணுங்க. அப்புறம் நேஷனல் டீச்சர்ஸ் டே எப்படி செலிப்ரேட் பண்றோம் அப்படிங்கிறது தெரியும்.
ராதாகிருஷ்ணன், சர்வப்பள்ளி ராதாகிருஷ்ணன் டீச்சரா வந்து இந்தியாவோட பிரசிடண்டா அவருக்கு போன ஒரு நோபல் மேன். அவரோட திருவள்ளூர் டிஸ்ட்ரிக்ட்ல தான் அவரோட பர்த் பிளேஸ். சர்வப்பள்ளிங்கிற ஊர்ல பிறந்தவர், டீச்சரா இருந்தவர். அவரோட நோபல் ஐடியாஸ், நோபல் வேல்யூஸ் இன்னமும் ரிமெம்பர் பண்ணப்படுது. டீச்சிங் அவர் சொன்ன விஷயம் தான் அப்படிங்கிறது என்ன சொல்லியிருக்கு அப்படின்னா, the teachers and there is a difference between teachers and students. Students are learners. Teachers are continuous learners. Students are learners. Teachers are continuous learners. So in our day-to-day life, we have to learn many things. We will celebrate the Teachers' Day with the respect to the teachers. நம்மளோட ஐடியாலஜிலே இருக்கு, ஆசிரியர்களை நம்ம வணக்கம் செல்லணும் அப்படின்னு சொல்லிடுது. நல்லா படிப்போம், ஜெயிப்போம். இதுதான் அந்த டீச்சர்ஸ் நம்ம கொடுக்கக்கூடிய ரெஸ்பெக்ட். இதோட முடிச்சுக்கலாம். நாளைக்கு பார்க்கலாம், மீட் பண்ணிக்கலாம். தேங்க்யூ.